On this video, we're going to look at the beginning career of Dennis Condrey. Many people might know him as the Midnight Express with Bobby Eaton, Randy Rhoads, Mamie Norvell Alston. But on this one, we will tell you exactly the start and where he started and who trained him. Rodney, I did not know this, and we've known Dennis Condrey for many years and did not know that he was trained by Ole and Gene Anderson.
Oh, it would explain now, being that he was trained, of how great he was as a tag team, because it's my opinion, the greatest tag team of all time was Ole and Gene Anderson. And Dennis Condrey, when we were doing our top 10, I believe he was in about three, I think he was in three or four. I included him in as the various tag team partners he had.
Just tremendous. His first matches was with Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. Joe Turner, and I did not know this until I did the research on it, was the person who helped Dennis get into the wrestling business. What many people did not know was Dennis was Joe's brother-in-law. So he really got into the business because of Joe Turner. Joe Turner, a lot of people don't know, but he drew a lot of money in wrestling. I think he at one time was Joe Sky. I think Bill Bowman was Bill Sky, and they were a tag team that drew a lot of money in the 60s. But he gets into professional wrestling, and really he's off and running. And Rodney, starting on August 22nd, 1973. Now, I don't know how long he trained with Ole and Gene. I would say probably a year or so, because they just didn't train you, and then 6 weeks later you got in the wrestling ring. So
that's right. Start out at the City Auditorium in Asheville, North Carolina on August the 22nd, 1973. It's Lord Jonathan Boyd and Norman Frederick Charles III defeating Don Reese and Dennis Condrey. City Stadium, Lynchburg, Virginia, August the 24th, 1973. Dennis Condrey versus John Heidman. It's the Cumberland County Memorial Coliseum, Fayetteville, North Carolina on August 27th, 1973. Don Reese defeats Dennis Condrey. September the 17th, 1973, back at the Cumberland County Memorial Auditorium in Fayetteville, North Carolina, Terry Sawyer defeated Dennis Condrey. Memorial Auditorium, Greenville, South Carolina on October the 8th, 1979, Mike York and Frank Monty defeats Joe Turner and Dennis Condrey. Township Auditorium, Columbia, South Carolina on October 9th, 1973, it's Johnny Weaver and Art Nelson defeating Dennis Condrey and Joe Turner.
All right. This is kind of interesting. Look at Joe Turner and Dennis Condrey teaming with each other at the beginning of October. It looks like.
Yep.
Well, you can see that they knew they were about to leave. Dennis Condrey and Joe Turner will make their way to Leroy McGurk's territory, which I think was Tri-State Championship Wrestling at the time. Dennis Condrey would start wearing a mask, and he would wrestle as Dante and have a partner, and Joe Turner would be his partner. He'd be called the Mephisto. Dante and Mephisto, a masked tag team.
And practice tag teaming in South Carolina for the Mid-Atlantic, and then go there and apparently get ready for the push.
Yeah. Rodney?
All right, we come up on October 15th, 1973, Tulsa Assembly Center, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Pez Watley and Klondike Bill defeats Mephisto and Dante, which is Joe Turner and Dennis Condrey, by disqualification. Monroe Civic Center, Monroe, Louisiana on October the 16th, 1973. Dr. X and Klondike Bill defeats Mephisto and Dante by disqualification in a 2 out of 3 fall match. Mississippi Coliseum in Jackson, Mississippi on October 17th, 1973 is Mephisto and Dante versus Ron Starr and George Strickland. St. Bernard Civic Auditorium in Chalmette, I hope I said that right, Louisiana on October the 18th, 1979 is Mephisto and Dante versus Pez Watley and Salento Rodriguez. It's Lafayette, if you will, Sports Center in Lafayette, Louisiana on October the 19th, 1973, Salento Rodriguez and Betty Austin versus Mephisto and Dante.
When you look at this, Dennis Condrey pretty much gets trained by one of the best tag teams and two of the best wrestlers that ever put on a pair of tights, as Ole and Gene. He ends up being in his first tag team, which I did not know he ever teamed and wore a mask. I thought he went directly from where he started to Tennessee. But we find out now that he did go to Louisiana territory, basically the Tri-States territory. And October 22nd, this is all going to be 1973, so I won't just say 1973 every time, but October 22nd, Shreveport Municipal Memorial Auditorium, tremendous building, by the way. It was so good.
One of the best. Great atmosphere.
Mephisto and Dante defeated Klondike Bill and Pez Whatley, a 2 out of 3 falls match. October the 23rd, the McGuire twins, Billy and Benny, defeated Mephisto and Dante by disqualification in Monroe, Louisiana. And almost every time they were on the cards that we were at, and we saw them in Chattanooga, always big crowds to see the McGuire twins. And drew a lot of money in that time. But October 25th, St. Bernard Civic Auditorium, and I guess Chalamet. I guess that's how you would say that. Is that how you would say it? Chalamet, or is it Chalamet, Louisiana?
Well, you continue, and I'll look that up.
Mephisto and Dante defeated Klondike Bill and Oni Wiki Wiki. I think my mother's favorite wrestler, Oni Wiki Wiki. October 30th, the Monroe Civic Center in Monroe, Louisiana. Mephisto and Dante went against Jim Ledford and Oni Wiki Wiki. You know what? They need a guy named Oni Wiki Wiki today.
That's a great name.
Yes, I love that name. Let's see, November 1st, the Skatorama in Greenville, Mississippi. Dante and Mephisto defeated Ron Starr and Klondike Bill 2 out of 3. November 8th, the Skatorama, Greenville, Mississippi. Alex Perez and El Grande Tapia defeated Mephisto and Dante by disqualification. November 10th, Sportatorium in Greenwood, Mississippi. Mephisto and Dante went against Klondike Bill and Dr. X. November 14th, Mephisto and Dante went against defeated Bob Backlund and George Strickland in Independence Hall in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. There we see Bob Backlund. November 15th, Skatorama, Greenville, Mississippi. Dewey Robertson, Klondike Bill, and Luke Brown defeated Mephisto, Dante, and Skandar. I guess Skandar Akbar. I just thought about this. I guess Skandar Akbar was the manager.
Possibly. It makes sense.
It makes sense now that they had a manager. So I guess he did all the talking for them. By disqualification, which Dennis Condrey probably done a better job. Skandar Akbar was, but November 16th, 1973, Vicksburg City Auditorium, another great wrestling building. Loved that building. Vicksburg, Mississippi. Ron Starr and Dan Crawford defeated Dante and Mephisto 2 out of 3 falls match. November 19th, Shreveport Municipal Auditorium, Shreveport, Louisiana. Mephisto and Dante defeated Alex Perez and El Gran Tapia. November 21st, Independence Hall in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Bobby Whitlock, Mephisto, and Dante defeated Dan Crawford, George Strickland, and Dr. X 2 out of 3 falls match. November 23rd, Lafayette. Sorry, I'm in Georgia evidently. Lafayette Sports Center in Lafayette, Louisiana.
That's Lafayette.
Lafayette. Let's try that one more time and take care of that. November 23rd, Lafayette Sports Center in Lafayette, Louisiana. Mephisto and Dante went against Rip and Randy Tyler.
Excellent. Then we come back to Shreveport Municipal Auditorium, Shreveport, Louisiana, on November the 26th, 1973. Mephisto and Dante defeating Oni Wiki Wiki and Mr. Clean. Skatorama, Greenville, Mississippi, on November 29th, 1973. It's Klondike Bill and Don Crawford defeating or versus Mephisto and Dante. Lafayette Sports Center in Lafayette, Louisiana, November the 30th, 1973. Mephisto and Dante versus Rip Tyler and Randy Tyler. Sportatorium in Greenwood, Mississippi, December 1st, 1973. It's Dr. X and Dan Crawford versus Mephisto and Dante. Independence Hall in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, on December the 5th, 1973. The Demon and Grizzly Smith defeat Dante and Mephisto. Independence Hall again, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. On December 5th, the same night, I guess, it's Gentle Ben, the wrestling bear, defeating Dante by countout. St. Bernard Civic Center in Chalmette. I looked it up. It's Chalmette, Louisiana. On December the 6th, 1973, Mephisto and Dante versus Salento Rodriguez and Oni Wiki. Rapides Parish Coliseum, Alexander, Louisiana. On December the 11th, 1973, Mephisto, Dante, and Bobby Whitlock defeated or were against Don Crofot, Oni Wiki, and Jerry Usher. Independence Hall in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on December the 12th, 1973. Mephisto and Dante defeating Danny Hodge and Salento Rodriguez. Lafayette Sports Center in Lafayette, Louisiana on December the 14th, 1973. Randy and Rip Tyler along with Bob Sweeten versus Mephisto, Dante, and Bobby Whitlock. Laranger Coliseum, one of the great facilities in Louisiana. In Laranger, Louisiana, December 15th, 1973, Mephisto and Dante versus Dr. X and Grizzly Smith. Rapides Parish Coliseum, Alexander, Louisiana, December the 18th, 1973, Mephisto and Dante versus Klondike Bill and Luke Brown. St. Bernard Civic Auditorium in Chalmette, Louisiana. On December the 20th, 1973, Ken Mantell and Danny Hodge defeat Mephisto and Dante in a 2-out-of-3 fall match. Laranger Coliseum, Laranger, Louisiana on December the 22nd, 1973 is Mephisto and Dante versus Grizzly Smith and Luke Brown in a 2-out-of-3 fall match.
The
last one. Oh, wait, we got one more to go. December the 28th, 1973, Lafayette Sports Center, Lafayette, Louisiana, Bob Sweeten and Sick Freak Stank. I guess that's right. Or Stanky. Versus Mephisto and Dante, winner unknown. That was in a Texas rules match.
We will look at Dennis Condrey in 1974. And I've not looked ahead to know where he goes, if he's still there, if he stays for a while. I've not looked because I want it to be surprised like you are. Because if you know Dennis Condrey, you know his career, you would think, hey, he started in Tennessee like I thought he did. But no, he starts Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, makes his way to Tri-State Championship Wrestling, and really, I believe, main event wrestling as Mephisto and Dante.
Started right, yeah.
Tremendous stuff. Tremendous thing. Laranger Coliseum, beautiful facility. But, really, I liked the facility to a certain extent as far as the building had one heck of an atmosphere in that little
absolutely.
building.
Absolutely. It's the restrooms that set it apart from all other arenas that ever went to.
Yeah, the Laranger Coliseum, the wrestlers always would say these words. Well, I almost put that guy's jacket on when I was going out, and Jim Duggan always just said, "Hey, that's my foot. You're trying to put that boot." Beautiful location, and everybody that ever came to the territory, they said, "Listen, you need to be dressed up nice for this building. It's a very beautiful building." All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this video on Dennis
family.
Condrey.
By the way, great family who ran the Laranger Coliseum, by the way.
Yes.
Fabulous
Yes,
people.
they were. Yes, they were. We appreciate you watching our videos. We hope you enjoy them right here on Facebook and on YouTube. We do appreciate it. We'll see you on the next video about Dennis Condrey, and we'll look at 1974. Until then, this is Brent and Rodney West for Pro Wrestling Inside Now.